Hey everyone, it is Shane and Elle from the Always Next Year podcast. Yo, Elle.
What up?
We are going to be having a live show. We're super excited about it. So our live show, we've just found out about it. So it's literally in 2 days. So rearrange your entire lives. Come meet us because we are that important. But it is a live day on Saturday, June 1st. It is New Britain Day. So if you've ever been involved in any of these before, they're basically just community days where different businesses of the surrounding community of New Britain, which is Doylestown, New Britain, Chalfont, Hollicong, different things like that. They all come together and they put this big day for different businesses. There's barbecues, there's fireworks later in the evening, all different types of things like that. And we will be there. For the Always Next Year podcast team, it will be me, it will be Elle. Elle's going to join us, which is fantastic, and Rob, who we just closed out a few segments with as well. So, couple things. First of all, it is Saturday, June 1st. The address is 229 Keeley Ave, New Britain, PA 18901. It is just south of Doylestown, just a few minutes south up on 202. And you will come up on that park. It is called Covered Bridge Park, and you'll look for the tent that has all of our stuff on it. It is again the Always Next Year podcast. You'll have a bunch of different flyers and business cards and just different things like that kind of hanging. And then the three of us with microphones like assholes talking to you about Philadelphia sports. So, a few things. We have changed. Each one of our segments are now slightly different to reflect the personalities of those who are most involved in the segments. So each show that we put on at this live show is going to sound just a little bit different. It's all under the AMYP family. However, each one has a separate identity. First one, and we call this pretty much our most radio-ready segment and show, is the Kelly Green Hour, which is newly named the Kelly Green Hour. It is our Philadelphia Eagles segment. It is hosted by one of our original co-founders, in LJ, who is here with me to describe the show for you. And he is joined by Connor from Canada, which is awesome. We enjoy that we have a Canadian up on some of our segments. So, Elle, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Kelly Green Hour?
Connor's also very knowledgeable about the Eagles, so
he is, man. You guys are good.
It makes it a lot easier on me. But we're all things Eagles. We're in OTAs now, so hopefully within the next couple of weeks, as we get closer to mini camp and mandatory camp and then training camp and preseason, I can't wait. This Eagles team is stacked, and it's going to be so much fun to talk about them because if everybody stays healthy. Okay, let me change that. If Carson Wentz stays healthy, this team is a Super Bowl contending team. And it's going to be fun to talk about it. When we came up with the idea to start our own podcast, it was around when the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
And that, we've had a bunch of ups and downs when it comes to the Eagles, but I do remember when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, me and you we were just like, this is instant reaction.
Yeah.
And it was one of the first podcasts that we did, and it was just and now that we're moving forward with this entire network with Rob and with Connor and with Steve every once in a while, it makes things a lot interesting because the Eagles it's a football town. Let's be real. The Phillies are good. Everybody's all on Bryce Harper and everybody loves the Phillies. They're a first place team. But when it gets down to the nitty gritty come September, everything's playing around Eagles football.
And so you should plan your lives around the Kelly Green Hour. For at least once, if not twice a week, you will have episodes from LJ and Connor discussing all things birds related. Again, that is probably our most radio-ready show. Like, this is something we truly believe that if you flipped on 94.1, 97.5, these guys could fit immediately right in with their wealth of knowledge. They're pretty incredible at what they do. Our 76ers basketball segment, I host that. I am co-hosted by Rob. I am occasionally joined by Steve and Connor on that segment as well. That is called TJ's One of Us, because at the end of all days, TJ truly is all of us, just an average white guy being barely average at basketball.
What are you going to do when he's not on the team next year?
It's still going to be called TJ's One of Us.
Just wondering.
Yeah, I know. We talked about it a lot. We didn't know if we'd have to change it to like Hayward Highsmith or like Zaire Smith or whatever. But yeah, we're keeping it TJ's One of Us because he is truly one of us. But we talk all things 76ers basketball. I have just taken over this segment full-time. I was part-time in charge of that one. Kevin K, one of our original founding members, has decided to move on to bigger and better things. Kev, we are very supportive in what you do, and we're incredibly grateful for the year or so that you spent here at AMYP. So good luck at everything that you do, and we're excited to support that as well. But I have taken over that one full-time. I also host our Philadelphia Phillies segment, our In Cap We Trust segment. I'm co-hosted by literally every single one of us. This is the only show that features all of us at any given time. Elle, you're on that show occasionally. Rob is my main co-host. Steve will be on there occasionally. Connor will be in. What's up?
And it's fun when me and you do it because we both have differing opinions when it comes to
We have
the
very
Phillies.
differing opinions when
I'm
it
gonna
comes
keep
to,
it at that.
to the Philadelphia. Yeah, we'll tease it just a little bit, but yeah, we argue just a tad.
Wait till Saturday.
So,
Saturday.
I know it will be and we'll be in the presence of all of these people, and we'll be getting all irate, and they're gonna be like, "I'm never listening to this show." But yeah, so in Cap We Trust, it literally features all of us. Even Steve and Stephanie join on that one occasionally as well. Our final of the 4 sports is Disciples of Ed, formerly Who the Puck is Ryan Dingle, formerly Get Pucked, formerly our Flyers segment. We have finally settled on a name. This show is hosted by Rob. So yeah, it's hosted by Rob and is co-hosted by Steve and by Connor. I will occasionally be in on that one as well. Occasionally, I'm sure Elle will step in if people are truly out of studio. But our Philadelphia Flyers segment is one of our no holds bars segments. So if we understand what Flyers fans want, and we attempt to give it to them as raw as we possibly can. Boy, that sounds strange saying that in that particular way. But we have no filter in that show, and we believe Flyers Twitter and Flyers podcast fans are pretty supportive in that. Then we have 3 very unique shows now that we are very, very proud of. Our first, and it will not have yet debuted by our live day and our live show, but it is called The People's Take, and it will be Connor's first full-time hosting gig. But Elle, you were the co-host of that. The People's Take, we step out of the core 4 sports and we dive into the professional wrestling world. Tell us about this show.
It's a guilty pleasure of mine, and growing up I watched wrestling, and I still do, and everybody makes fun of me, but I don't really care. It gives me the chance to just unwind. And this is going to be a show for Connor and I. Like when we do the Kelly Green Hour, that's factual based. Sure. And we do give our opinions and whatnot, but when you're talking wrestling, it's a drama. So we get to have fun with this. We're gonna have so much fun. We're gonna predict matches. We're starting with just the pay-per-views. We'll predict matches. We'll predict storylines. What we would do if we were in the creative room, and then eventually, I'm thinking that this is gonna stick with us. And then when we get to October, when the new competing wrestling brand starts their weekly TV show, then we get to hopefully have another Monday Night Wars type of thing like we did back in the day with WWE and WCW. Now it's WWE and AEW. A lot of former wrestlers that used to be with WWE are now over in AEW, and this is going to be interesting. But I think that this segment is going to be fun because me and Connor can go out of our norms of, look, we are factual based when it comes to the Eagles, but now we can have fun. And this will be our more, you guys have the Disciples of Ed. I almost forgot what was like Ed who, but then I remember.
Damn.
But where that's kind of your no holds barred segment, this is going to be, we might not hold things back with this. And I think this is one where me and Connor may not see eye to eye. And that's going to make things a lot of fun. And hopefully, and the wrestling community is a big community.
Absolutely.
And this is a nice way to branch out for the ANYP, because if we can branch out of Philadelphia sports and into this community, that could take us to some bigger things maybe.
Yeah, we're excited about it. When you guys originally pitched that idea to us, it was kind of foreign to the rest of the group. None of us follow wrestling like you and Connor do. But I think we all overwhelmingly were like, no, do this, because it's another entertainment market. It's another, you said it's a giant community. People still, have followed this show and followed this saga, which is essentially what this is. It's a never ending saga, in entertainment and drama is I think what you called it. if we can branch out and be heard by that community as well. There's undoubtedly some football fans there. There's some baseball fans there. Some hockey and Sixers fans there. Hockey and basketball fans there. Enjoy your show enough that they come over and kick in on some of our original specialties here with the core four of Philadelphia sports. So we are very excited for the People's Take to get underway. When is your first show, if you guys know offhand?
We're going to record June 5th because June 7th is it's the WWE Super Showdown. They're calling it bigger than WrestleMania. So we'll see. It's over in Saudi Arabia, I think.
Okay.
We have to do it a little earlier though because that show's on a Friday. Usually the pay-per-views are Sunday. Gives us some time, but we're going to record June 5th, have it up hopefully June 5th that night. We'll have our predictions, things going on in WWE, and I think it'll be a good show.
Awesome. Well, we're excited. We're looking forward to that one as well. Again, that is called The People's Take, named by Connor. Well done, kid. You guys had originally asked us for some naming advice, and I think that was dumb because let's look at all of our show segments. So, Connor, well done. Another one that we have is Crossing Borders. Speaking of Connor, that is me and Connor. We split time as host on this one, or we will eventually be splitting time as hosts. This is specifically to dive into all of Philadelphia sports Twitter, find the most highly debated topics, and kind of narrow it down for one highly debated tweet amongst each of the four Twitter communities of Sixers, Flyers, Phillies, and Eagles. We give our takes to their takes. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we disagree, sometimes we make Twitter angry at us. Other times we're very angry at Twitter. It is a lot of fun. It's another one of those segments where we show a little bit more personality than what we may on some of our strictly sports shows in terms of just the Eagles, just the Phillies, Flyers, or Sixers. Well, not Flyers. But we have a lot of fun with that. It's interesting to me, and it's always interesting to me. Me as a Philadelphia, guy from the greater Philadelphia area, this is all I've known. This community is all I've known. This sports madness is all I've known. Kind of brings a different element to that. He's a guy from young guy from Canada, not in the Philly market. He gives a different type of perspective to some of these tweets and some of these debates. So we have a ton of fun with that one. The last one, Steve has put together a brand new show. We've only had 2 or 3 segments of this so far. But Steve, for those of you guys who don't know, Steve is literally our best reviewed host or co-host. None of us, including Steve, understand why, but people love him. They love his just ability to just be real and connect, which was, I think, one of my favorite reviews that I've ever read. And it was about Steve, and that was exactly what they said. So Steve has decided to reward his loyal followers and fan base and just different people who enjoy him by creating his own segment. It is called Whiskey Ramble. So if you know Steve, you know that he is totally not an alcoholic at all, not even a little bit, but he does like whiskey. So what we do is we pour, we drink, and we talk about literally anything and everything that goes on in Steve's brain. It is 60 seconds where he sits across from me at the mic or Stephanie at the mic, and we sit there and we talk about anything that comes up. We have no plan. We have no script. We talk about sports. We talk about life. We talk about things that piss us off, and we talk about things that don't. Steve directs this one completely all up in his own brain, and he just lets it roll. So this is a segment that is very, very free, and it is for those of you who have truly enjoyed Steve and what touch he has had so far in the segments that he is involved with. We're very proud of Steve, and we're very proud of the segment as well. Those are our 7 main segments. The thing that we have done now is we've kind of redone the website, which is www.alwaysnextyearpodcast.com. Each show will have its own different tab on the website that will be designed and kind of managed by those who typically are involved with that segment. So Kelly Green Hour will be, constructed pretty much entirely by LJ and by Connor. When you look at that tab, it will reflect their show. It will reflect them. If you look at Disciples of Ed, it will be Ed, Steve, and Connor. If you look at the other 2, it'll be me and Rob. This is something that we are excited about, because it brings a little bit of difference in personality. One thing that, Elle said to me, everything kind of sounds the same. We wanted to kind of branch off and have different identities for each of our shows. So our first one, we had a lot of success with it. Again, very radio ready. Kelly Green Hour, him and Connor, they decided to take this thing on their own and just go with it. And it has worked out so well that we have basically thrown the other guys off. We want no part of this show. We don't want to touch that. because we are that proud of it. So we're excited that our website will reflect those things as well. If you ever want a guest spot on any of our shows, you can email us. You can subscribe to the website. There is a link there. You don't have to subscribe to the website for the link, but we highly encourage you to do so. But the email is anypodcastteam@gmail.com. You can also reach us on Twitter. Our podcast Twitter is primarily for announcements and for news purposes. We don't interact quite so much on that one, but it is at ANY Podcast. And each of us have our own personal accounts, which you should follow all of us, and you should interact with all of us. So mine is at Shane_Mead. L, where can we get you?
At LJHarrell54, and I'm not blocked or whatever. What is it?
You're not private anymore.
I'm not private, that's it, yeah.
Oh my God. Congratulations. You were the final one. All right. So LJ is now at public profile. Congratulations, sir. We appreciate it. Rob is at radio_Rob. Connor is at Connor10. That's Connor TEN, not Connor10. Steve is at Schmitty324, and Stephanie is at Stephanie E. Ray, RAE. And that is the entirety of our team. So here's the thing. You have run into me at Wawa before, and I have not reacted well. There have been several of our followers who will just run into me and they'll say, hey, you're that guy from that podcast. And I'm like, holy shit, is this real? And then I don't react right because I'm a very introverted person who does not like humans. I have run into, yeah, we all are. I have run into people at Citizens Bank Park. I've run into people at the Wells Fargo Center. We all have. I know Rob has as well. We don't always react well because we don't know you yet. The reason we don't know you is because you don't interact with us on Twitter. So start to. All of the tags that I've just given you, interact with us as much as possible. And then when you come to live days, such as on Saturday for New Britain Day, this one will force us to be extroverted, and we will expect you to be there. So we promise we won't be so freaking awkward. It'll be a good time. You'll be on the show with us. Bring your dogs if you have dogs. That's a damn surefire way for me to talk to you is if you have a dog. Same thing for Rob. And if you have available females, bring them for the rest of the group. They will appreciate it. I can't include myself. Sadly, my life is over. But on Saturday, we will have a show kind of similar to this where we kind of break down what the podcast is and we explain it to people as they walk by. We're going to interview random people as they come by. We're going to ask them if they want to talk Philly sports for a quick moment. So if you want to be on any of those segments, please come to New Britain Day. Again, it's 229 Keeley Ave, New Britain, PA, 18901. You speak with either me, you'll speak with Elle, you'll speak with Rob. Maybe we'll even get Steve there. Steph may come. Who knows? Connor, I doubt he's coming in from Canada, but if he does, I'd be damn proud of him. And Connor, if you were listening to our ad spot, which you freaking should, because we all should listen to our own stuff and make sure it doesn't suck, bring your ass down. We want you here. We will have a ton of fun that day. We'll have a bunch of different flyers, business cards given out. We will talk some sponsors that we have acquired, and it will be it'll be a good time. Elle, any final thoughts here on things you're looking forward to on Saturday?
Just meeting our followers and talking sports. Doesn't matter, what we talk. We all have a vast knowledge of the sports, even if some of us don't like some of the players or teams, but we still talk it. But yeah, looking forward to that, and it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it'll be a good time getting to interact with everyone and kind of be an environment where we expect it. Like I said, we apologize if we don't always react calmly. It has taken us this first year when we get to meet some of you guys. But it'll be a fun day. So if you are in the Bucks County area, near Doylestown, near Chalfont, New Britain, Hollicong, Warrington, Warminster areas, things like that, it is a pretty close drive. So come on by, bring your dogs for the guys. Bring, decent-looking females. Blondes, you're an idiot. This will be a fun time, so it'll be a good time to talk to everyone. But that's going to be it here for this ad spot here for Always Next Year podcast. I am Shane, he is Elle, and we will see you guys Saturday.